Criminals are using the sites to lure victims, with many U.S. citizens drugged, robbed, and even killed by their Colombian dates. Embassy officials confirming the deaths of at least 8 Americans traveling in Medellin, possibly linked to the apps.
I'm out of words to describe. I don't even know how I feel right now.
A situation all too familiar for the family of 50-year-old Tu Zhang, an artist and activist from Minnesota who we first reported on last month. He had been traveling in Colombia in December when he called his brother out of the blue asking for money.
This time he was like, hey, do you have a couple of thousand? I was like, yeah, no problem. Well, what do you want it? He said, I want it now. I'm in this bit of a situation here. I go, oh, yeah, I can do that.
Hello, family. Welcome back to another episode of Journey to Harmony. I'm your host, Richard Harmon. Today, I want to come to you and talk to you about the dangers of some of these activities of passport bros. So over the last few years, we've heard so much about men going to different countries looking for love. Things have become difficult with the relationships here in America, with many of the men unsatisfied with different situations that they're finding themselves in, and they've gone abroad, whether to South America, to Africa, to Australia, different places, to go look for places where they can find a compatible partner they feel. And we've seen stories about men, how they say they're enjoying themselves, things like that. I've always been a big concern with that idea because these are many times are undeveloped nations that have a lot of crime, nations that have a lot of drugs, and people have gone looking in these places. A lot of these times, you're saying people wouldn't go into the inner cities of Compton or the inner cities of Chicago, but they're going off into a different world where there's no real means of protection, or no means of order in these places. So in this story here, we're hearing about how some men are being lured into dates, and from there they're being robbed, they're being killed. Just unfortunately by this overall situation. I'm going to play a video here. We'll watch a little bit of this. I'll come back and talk about it just after that. Your first time joining, please hit that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel. And here we go.
Zhang's family telling our Minneapolis affiliate soon after he stopped responding to their messages, he was found dead. A local prosecutor saying Zhang was kidnapped during a date and killed when he could not make the ransom payment, and that his body was found covered in stab wounds.
I was confused. To be honest with you, I don't know why, what the motive is.
Zhang had visited Colombia in the past, posting photos and videos to social media as recently as October with an unidentified woman.
I'm with my girl.
The embassy's alert indicated officials do not believe all 8 of the deaths are linked, and said they've seen an increase in reports of incidents involving the use of online dating applications to lure victims, typically foreigners, for robbery by force or using sedatives to drug and rob individuals. Often the reports coming from major Colombian cities like Medellin, Cartagena, and Bogota. Murders of foreign visitors went up by 29% in the latter part of 2023 compared to the previous year, according to the embassy, and most of the victims were U.S. citizens.
All right, guys, so there it is. So again, if you're out there, if you're looking for love, it's understandable that you are looking for someone who is compatible. A lot of times men are looking for a woman who's more submissive. Women are looking for someone who is able to provide. And, kind of sometimes because of the difficulty of the economy in America, U.S. dollars stretch further in some of these developing nations. So as you go to some of these places, you're looking for someone who has some traditional values, someone's able to love you in that particular manner. That's all well and good, but make sure you are protecting yourself as best as possible. There are some serious issues that may arise as you're out there. Make sure that you are, considering these particular options. If you get stuck in a situation, there's no guarantee that the police in the area is going to help you. You could be basically in a whole nation kind of off by your own. And then if you don't have sufficient resources, I remember I saw a video previously about a guy who was stuck in, I believe it was in like Brazil or something like that. And he needed to go on Facebook or something like that to ask for $100 to get a ticket. So make sure you got your dollars up, make sure you're living as best as possible, and keep your head on the swivel. Think carefully about some of the decisions that you're making prior to making them, and go ahead and do what's in your best interest from there. So what are your thoughts on this? Please comment below, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining, and have a good day.